Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, hug your head, even sit. Hug your head, even sit. Hug your head, even sit. Hug your
Du ser dig, hör fett. Även om du har hört mig. Hör fett. Och du har musik. Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Hello, sorry, I'm gonna try my best not to shake the table, but hi, it is Monday. Today we are in Kotor, Montenegro. It has been gorgeous, beautiful. I did not update yesterday, but we were in Corfu. Yesterday was very, very laid back. We mostly rode the bus around and just got like history lessons and culture lessons about everywhere we were going. We also were able to eat some food at a traditional Greek restaurant, which was delicious. We had moussaka, and personally I've never really been a big fan of eggplant, but everything that I've eaten which has eggplant in it on this vacation I've loved. That's a development for me. We got to go see this gorgeous monastery where there are actual still living monks. The artwork, which was just everywhere within the monastery, gorgeous, stunning. I believe it was a Greek Orthodox monastery is what she was saying. Also saw some cats and pet them. Then we had dinner at the restaurant, and Josh and I both got the destination menu, which was just all Greek food. So we had grilled calamari, absolutely to die for. Then we had a lamb stew, which was very good. And then some kind of a chocolate walnut cake thing. Everything we had was so good last night. Like I said, we are in Montenegro today. Josh and I did a highlights of Montenegro tour. Once again, pretty easygoing. Rode a bus up this very winding road. This is literally a photo of it. Josh and I each got a postcard. This is called the Serpentine, and there are 25 lines. So we went up this in a bus. It was so anxiety inducing to watch this dude drive, but he did amazing. We also got to try the second best cheese in the world. Just recently was voted that in a food competition thing. They also had this sherry kind of wine, which is 50% alcohol, 50%. It was very strong, very strong. They gave you a little shot, and that was it. I could only take a few sips. Josh drank the rest of it. He also bought some because he's a crazy person. Since we've been back, we actually ended up doing tea time, which was very fun. Hadn't done tea time in a very long time, probably since somebody's birthday when I was a little kid. They also had a guitarist, and he played Metallica. I appreciate that greatly. That's very badass of him. I've also been working on Book Lovers. I forgot to bring it out here. Josh is currently taking a nap, so I'm not gonna go get it. Probably about 170 pages in now. The banter, the flirting, it is fantastic. I'm loving it, eating it up. Charlie is very intriguing to me. I like him as a love interest, but personally I don't think he's a new fictional boyfriend or anything. He and I could probably be very good friends though. We have pretty similar personalities. I do enjoy the sister relationship in this, but at the same time I think for the section I'm in, it's kind of being underutilized for so many people telling me that the sister relationship is very much at the forefront of this story. I do think we're seeing some development for our main character Nora so far though, and I do appreciate that. We're learning a little bit more about Charlie and his background. Tomorrow we have a demanding walk around Dubrovnik, which is going to be very cool. I'm gonna play on my Game Boy, play some Pokemon. If you know what a Nuzlocke is, I'm currently doing a Nuzlocke on Pokemon Emerald. Probably means nothing to most of you, but some people might understand it, and I'm having a time. I am currently heading towards the second gym.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood. concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hey y'all, so it is Wednesday. I don't think I updated you guys yesterday. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but we were in Dubrovnik, Croatia, and it was amazing. It was really gorgeous. We actually did a city walk of the wall, which separates the city from the coastline, and it was very cool. Actually, that's a poor choice of words because it was pretty hot. It was in the mid 80s and there's no shade, just beating sun. The group we went with, we lost at least 3 different couples throughout it because it was just too hot for them and they couldn't handle it. Thankfully, being from Texas, Josh and I could do it. We were fine. It was so hot and crowded that like by the time we finished our tour, it was like, let's just go back to the boat. And what do? We went and jumped in the pool. It was very nice. So glad we did that. Today we actually went to 𝗖cie National Park. We were in Zadar, Croatia. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. The falls were amazing. Unfortunately for us, our tour guide was definitely rushing us through. It was also a workout. It was a good bit of a walk there, and then once you got to the falls, to go back to the start was up 100 steps. And they were pretty steep at points. But with that, it was definitely worth it to go out there. It was so gorgeous. The waterfalls were absolutely beautiful. Josh and I were saying we probably could have spent a good few more hours just hanging out there. And we are currently getting ready to go out to dinner. Loving Book Lovers so far. I think by the point I'm currently at, I'm around 220 pages in. I'm really enjoying the interactions between both of our main characters, even though we don't see a ton of their relationship really developing. But I think they have such a strong repertoire and communicate very well in a very similar way, so that it feels like they really do know each other very well and they actually understand one another. That just makes me really invested in them eventually becoming a full-on couple. The whole sisterly relationship thing, on one hand, I'm intrigued about it because family drama. On the other hand, it's taking away a little bit from the romance, so I kind of could do without that aspect a little bit, but I do know, obviously, Emily Henry likes to include some familial drama alongside the romance. I do want to know where it's gonna go though. I will admit, I'm very intrigued to figure out what is happening with the sister and the sister's life with her husband and her kids and whatever. I'm intrigued. Fortunately for me, I ran out of pink tabs, which are for cute moments, so I'm kind of just having to annotate them with a pen, but I have a lot of blue, which are romantic, going on. However, the section I have currently entered, I am having a lot of dark blue, which is sad moments. She actually kind of connected this with Beach Read, her other book, which I would also love to get read. I don't know if that's gonna happen, however. I've also picked up Bet On It by Jodie Slaughter, which is a e-arc I have. I'm not really going to talk about it in this video at all because I will have a arc reading vlog coming out for that. That's it. We will see you guys later because we're gonna go get food.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. So life ain't easy, yo. I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap.
Hey guys, so it is Friday and we are actually in Venice now. Obviously, big change of venue. We're in a hotel. We're gonna be here for the rest of our trip, which on one hand is fantastic, but on the opposite side, I'm definitely hitting the point where I'm getting homesick. I miss my dog, I miss my brother, I miss my nibblings, I miss my own bed. My body has still not officially become accustomed to this time zone. I am not sleeping great. That's been going on for probably 2 weeks now, and it's not fantastic. I'm very, very drained. Anyway, yesterday we were in 𝗖cie, Croatia, and we actually went to a castle which was built into the side of a mountain within a cave. That was freaking amazing. I believe it was Postojna Castle. And then we also went to the caves which were nearby, which those are some of the biggest caves in Europe. It was fascinating. We literally had to take a train ride down into the caves because they're that big, but they were absolutely gorgeous. It was so beautiful. It was quite cold down there. I think they said it was about like 10 degrees Celsius, which was about like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was 85, bright and sunny outside. So you went from being hot and then you walked in and you instantly got a chill. It was very nice though. It was just so cool looking around, seeing all the stalactites, stalagmites, the different formations that have been created, how large some of these are, the new ones, and how they've been building off of some of the previous. There was one area that basically was a room and there were chandeliers hanging. I don't know why, still not really sure about it, but it was fascinating. It was very cool, really pretty, such a juxtaposition to see a chandelier in a cave. Ironically, I'm currently wearing a caving shirt from a different place, Mammoth Cave, which is in the US. If you ever go to Kentucky, I highly recommend. They're very fun. The castle was also very fascinating. As I mentioned, it's literally built into the side of a cliff with a cave. So on one side, you would have literally cave walls, and then you look up at the ceiling and look to the next, and it's a built wall. It was fascinating. There were these really creepy mannequins to showcase some of the historical aspects. Didn't like those. There was even a torture chamber and they actually had creepy noises playing. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. It was very unsettling. We had a fantastic time with that. That was probably one of the best excursions we did. A fantastic way to end the cruise. It was so cool. We then closed out the night by hanging out with some friends we made, and initially we were in the hot tub on the infinity pool deck. Josh and I got our final pina coladas, but once it closed, we actually ended up meeting them down at this little bar where there was a band performing, and we went there for the last few nights, and we basically just screamed, shouted, and hollered. We danced a little bit. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, we are now in Venice at a new hotel. I have had to unpack and repack my suitcase 3 times on this trip. That is so much. We're on the last leg. It's really cool. Today we went on a ghost / like mystery walking tour through Venice. It was awesome. I love doing those kind of tours. My mom and I got into them whenever we visited Boston, and I just find them very entertaining. Not only are they creepy and very unusual from like the traditional history tours, but it really tells you about like the area you're in. I mean, this one specifically, all of the stories she was giving us were local legends that have come about because of different things that have happened in these areas. Some of them have carvings on the side of walls which accompany the stories. We had a lot of fun. I think we walked like 3 miles though. It was a very long walking tour. We did get to see the outside of the Basilica in St. Mark's Square, ate some absolutely delicious Italian food. I had grilled octopus for dinner though. It was so good. So freaking good. Anyway, in terms of reading stuff, so I am at chapter 22. I have a lot of tabs. As you can see, there's so much blue. I appreciate the fact that Emily Henry has kind of like faked us out with a little bit of spice here and there, but like is giving you enough to keep your attention and make you more invested in the two of these individuals finally jumping together, because I think they have such fantastic chemistry. I really enjoy the intimacy we're seeing at the point I'm currently at, especially given the fact that they started out as basically professional rivals. Now they just understand each other so well. They both really relate to one another. They banter, they bicker. It's so fun. It's so entertaining, but at the same time, they really get one another. So like whenever Nora has this moment where she's kind of freaking out and Charlie sees her, he is instantly like, okay, what's going on? And knows just what to say to calm her down, to help her work through it, and to rationalize all of these thoughts that are swirling around in her head. I just loved that. I thought that was fantastic, and it's really showcasing the connection between these two characters. I'm all over it. On the opposite side, I have been reading Bet On It. Like I said, I'm not really going to talk about this one a lot in this video, but I appreciate Jodie Slaughter so much for giving us some fantastic freaking spice. I mean, 40% in, you get a full-blown sex scene. It was Thank you for that. Apart from that though, this is a lot more serious than the cover would have you believe. Mental health issues are definitely at the forefront of this book. It is completely character driven and is really just relating around how the two of these people are dealing with their mental health, how it's impacting their lives and the relationship that they are kind of trying to form. Sort of friends with benefits, but they both definitely have feelings for one another, and yet they don't think it can go anywhere because of circumstances in their lives. So that is it for right now. I am gonna work on my journal because I am many a days behind. I think my last one was in Corfu.
got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up.
Currently using Josh's suitcase as a prop, so you know it is not the most secure. This camera angle might shake a little bit. I'm very sorry. I will try not to move too much. But hi, it is Saturday. Today we went to Murano, which is the island where they create all of the absolutely beautiful glass works, and it was very cool. We did a little walkthrough of a workshop and saw a demonstration of them creating some wine glasses as well as a little horse, and doing all of it within 2 minutes. It was very cool, very impressive to watch. And then we just walked around the gallery a lot. I think they had at least like 10 different rooms. I couldn't film anything in there. They had a rule against videos or photos. I got this necklace and this bracelet which matches. They both look like daisies, and I love daisies. They are my favorite flower, so that was really cool. Like I said, we did a little walking around. Afterwards, I found a little off the beaten path Italian restaurant for us to all have lunch. I had spaghetti with clams. Josh got spaghetti with squid sauce, or squid ink. Very good. The tiramisu was amazing. Guys, it was so good. I don't think any of us got a photo or video because we demolished it. Afterwards, we walked around the city a little bit, and my mom was kind enough to suggest that we go to Libreria Acqua Alta, which is one of the most well-known bookstores in the world. It was very cool. It was fascinating to see some of the ways they would stack these books. I was terrified to touch some of them because I thought the entire thing would just come toppling over. They actually utilized canoes as shelves hanging on the walls. That was awesome. There is so many books that have become incredibly waterlogged because whenever the city floods, they get ruined. So they had this entire section that was just stacked with ruined books. And guess who bought a book? I know, it's shocking. I don't think this book has anything to do with Italy. Out of the books I found, Karen Slaughter has the most likely chance of me keeping it if I enjoy it. So that's why I went with her. This is The Silent Wife. This is also pretty chunky though, and it's deckled edges, which we love. 2 bookmarks as well. The San Marco Pier is also the pier where we go into Venice from our hotel, so that's very cool. Josh and I each got this very adorable little postcard with a cat. They had 2 bookstore cats. I also got a little tote bag to commemorate. Very busy. However, we then just basically walked around the city some more. Just Josh and I, my parents came back, but we found another few shops to go in. Josh bought a shirt. I got some earrings. I also got this adorable little figurine of bookshelves, and it is like a little model. And then afterwards, Josh and I went to have dinner literally 5 hours after having lunch, and it was a fairly big lunch, so I don't know how we managed to eat so much, but we had bruschetta and I had a Bellini, and then we shared cuttlefish ink pasta, also delicious. So yes, that is everything we have done today.
Ow. That is abuse. You're beating me on camera? I have clothes on also.
I was about to say, you're also showcasing your shirtless on camera. Anyway, the only book I've been working on today is Bet on It, but after I take a shower, I might work on Book Lovers. I also need to work on updating my journal some more. I was a good few days behind. I caught up by about 2 or 3 days yesterday, but I still have a few to work on, so maybe doing that.
Today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi guys, as you can tell, clearly I am now home. Yeah, the last few days of our trip were kind of crazy, and once I finally got home, I just didn't want to do anything. I did not even think to update this vlog. I didn't even think to take a video of Faith being adorable whenever I came in, because it'd been 3 weeks since she'd seen me. It was very adorable. I was so drained. I was so tired. So since I last spoke to you on Sunday, we went to 𝗖cie I believe is how it's pronounced. It was a museum, which was basically a old guy who was crazy rich. It was his house, and he just put so much money into the entire thing. So it was 4 stories. It was 4 stories. Every single room was just filled with all of this beautiful artwork from the 17th and 18th century, I believe. Just everything was beautiful. It was gorgeous. We also ended up stumbling upon a Leonardo da Vinci museum. Started walking around and found it super interactive. It was actually held within a church. Setting was gorgeous, but then very educational. Learned about all of this stuff the man invented. Some of it I definitely knew, but others I didn't. And then it was really cool because they would have examples for you that were true to the original, so you could kind of play with them and figure out how they worked and things like that. It was very fascinating. We did a gondola ride that night. While very pretty, not the best experience for Josh or I. We sat on the sides of the boat. We both got pretty nauseous. So it wasn't great, but we experienced it. We did a gondola ride in Venice. On the last day, I don't have a ton of footage because actually it was very ironic. A friend of mine from high school was actually in Venice at the same time, so we met up for lunch, and it'd been a while since we'd seen one another anyway, and then it was just crazy that we ran into each other in Italy when we currently live maybe 30 minutes from each other. It was wild. So we just spent like half the day talking, and then we did some shopping. It was really awesome to just catch up. But after that, Josh and I caught back up with my parents, and we actually did a tour of both the Doge's Palace, which again, absolutely stunning, so beautiful, filled with all of this gorgeous artwork on the walls, on the ceilings, tons of gold. There were these awesome clocks as well. They had one that was literally a clock of the different zodiacs for the time period of the year, and it was just crazy. Like, this place was huge, fascinating. Then afterwards, we actually went to St. Mark's Church, or the Basilica, also beautiful. So much history and just cultural significance of this place. It was really cool. Actually, at one point, I think I kind of got a little bit of a clip of it where we all sat down in the church and they turned all the lights off and then had them slowly start to light up the ceiling. Wild, crazy experience. Very cool. This church is still utilized today. They have mass every single day. You could actually see and feel within the floors. The church itself is actually sinking. There was a joke that Venice isn't sinking, it's just the fact that water levels are rising, but this church actually is sinking because there's so much marble and the building itself is so heavy. That day, I actually managed to finish Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I ran out of blue and pink tabs, which is very unfortunate, so I will eventually have to buy some more and go toss in those last few. But I really enjoyed this. I think this definitely lived up to my love of her first 2 books. There wasn't really a third act conflict, which I find very refreshing, at least not in terms of like the romantic relationship. It was more in regards to Libby and Nora's relationship, which on one hand, I was glad we finally got an answer. It definitely was not what I was expecting. I kind of fell into the trap of believing that Nora knew what was going on. I didn't expect that twist. I think it made perfect sense. Probably could have seen it coming if I'd thought about it a little bit better. But all in all, I really enjoyed the ending of this. I liked the epilogue. I thought it was pretty cute, simple to the point, but still gives all of the characters that we've come to know a happy ending. So final day, obviously, we came back. We had a flight from Venice to Philly, which I think was about 8 hours long, and I read for a majority of it. So I actually finished Bet on It by Jody Slaughter. Definitely enjoyed that one. Keep your eyes peeled for my ARC reading vlog of it. Then I started and finished the audiobook of Passing by Nella Larson, and wow, classics and I don't usually get along. Modern classics are definitely a bit better, but this was fantastic. This may be my new favorite classic. This was amazing. I did not expect this story to go where it did. I was very impressed at how well characterized both of the main characters, Claire and Irene, were. two women who are friends as children. They are both African American. However, both of them can pass off as white, and one of them has been living her life as a white woman and is married to a white man with a child. They end up meeting again at a restaurant, and Irene, our main character who we are seeing from, gets to see how Claire's life is as she is passing as a white woman. This definitely tackles a lot of heavy topics: racism, loyalty, sexism, colorism, growing up black, handling of trauma. Like, I thought it was so impressive that Nella Larson covered so much in this short book. I also was very impressed that the four main characters the story really revolves around were all very well characterized. Each felt very well established and like they developed as the story progressed forward. I was most interested in Claire's character, even though we're not seeing from her perspective. I was just so intrigued about her thought processes and her motivations for what she does. And then whenever we start to see Irene's character slowly starting to slip into this spiral of her struggling with her feelings about Claire and Claire's situation, I was just right there along with her. Across the board, this was just incredibly thought-provoking. I did not expect it to go where it did. The ending caught me off guard so much. It was crazy. I also found out that recently this got a Netflix adaptation. Definitely gonna be checking that out because this book was so freaking good. The final book I finished was 13.6 in the Charlie Davidson series. Other novella I had, and it is called The Gravedigger's Son. This one specifically is following the characters of Quentin and Amber. In the original series, they were both teenagers. I think Amber was about 14 and Quentin was 16. I can never remember if it's 2 years or 4 years between the two of them, but they were kind of in puppy love. And in this novella, it is now years later. Amber is now working as a PI following in Charlie's footsteps, and then Quentin has basically abandoned the found family that is established in the main series and is now working as a demon hunter for the Vatican. This was so much better than the first novella. This definitely gave me what I was wanting. I really loved the demon hunting angle. I thought that was so entertaining, while at the same time I just adored seeing more of the relationship between these two, specifically through both of their eyes. I will say Amber's characterization felt a little like a Charlie light. I do think there were still some key differences between she and Charlie. Quentin felt very true to the character that had been established previously. However, he is a bit harder and more jaded now, but he's still so soft and sweet and kind. They were very adorable. This definitely fulfilled that feeling of a second chance romance. However, I will say I did have a few negatives. There were just some logistic questions that came up when it specifically came to the age difference and the timeline of their relationship. One of them would say something and then another would say something else, and it wouldn't make sense in terms of how their relationship is supposed to have been laid out based on what we've been told previously. That was weird. Same with the previous novella. I don't think POV changes were very clear in this, and definitely there were points where it was kind of hard to tell if you were seeing from Amber's perspective or Quentin's. This is really strange given the fact that the Sunshine Bikram series is dual perspective, and I've never really had an issue keeping those straight, but I have with these two. I don't know, it's weird. I could totally go in for a full book about these two. I also started rereading Beach Read, have some more tabs at 300 pages, and once again, loving this. Everything about it's fantastic. I do think upon reread that Gus is very similar to Josh, which might be why I love Augustus so much in this one. January once again got on my nerves. She just cries so much at like the drop of a hat. She just will be in tears. As someone who hates crying in front of other people and like bottles her emotions, that makes me uncomfortable, but the romance still fantastic. The side plots still amazing. Just loving this. I'm probably gonna end up rating this 5 stars again. Not really surprised. That is it. This video has taken so long. I have been filming for literally 3 weeks. Hopefully this was interesting to you with a nice combination of traveling and book content. Definitely out of my norm. Will not be doing this again for some time. I can guarantee it. But thank you so much for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. I have all my socials linked in the description if you're interested in keeping up with what I am reading. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!